Have you ever brewed any lagers?
I am not a lager brewer. I don't have good temperature control down to that temperature, so
Never tried it?
I have not tried it. I plan to eventually when I have more time, space, money.
Right. Would you consider yourself a novice, intermediate, or expert homebrewer?
I would say intermediate advanced.
Right.
I know what I'm doing. My beers will typically come out at least something that I enjoy. I'm not at the novice level anymore, but there are definitely people that can brew circles around me. So
Yeah.
I think to consider yourself an expert is maybe hyperbole.
It's hard to self-apply no matter what,
Yeah.
even if... Have you ever entered any homebrew competitions, and if so, have you won any?
I won our club competition with a pink peppercorn saison.
Right.
And that's the only one that I've ever won. I have not entered competitions because oftentimes I'm the one running them.
Right.
I ran the last successful Knickerbocker Battle of the Brews 2 years ago, and I'm actually the coordinator for the one that's going on now with the Saratoga.
Are you going to enter anything with that one?
So I am debating. I don't like to enter beers if I'm involved as heavily as I am in the process.
Yeah, but you're not judging your own. But...
Maybe.
What about Uncle Marty's Oktoberfest?
It's a possibility. We'll see how my wheat beer comes out. I've got a wheat beer on tap that I'm...
Cool. This is a wheat beer, technically.
Yeah.
I like to call it Alcoholic Snapple. That was going to be the name I gave to it, but... well, we sort of already touched on this, but it's not necessarily the answer. What's been the most challenging or daring beer that you've brewed?
Definitely that Barrel Project beer.
Yeah.
Getting 7 people with 7 disparate brew systems together, each having to brew 10 gallons on systems that clearly couldn't handle 10 gallons at a time.
Right.
So we each, brewed 5-gallon, 2 5-gallon batches.
Huh.
That was a lot of work.
What about besides that? Just like on your own? Done any like imperial stouts or?
No, I think the Russian Imperial Stout was really the most out there in terms of a grain bill.
What about like as far as like creative recipe? Like I mean, you mentioned the pink peppercorn saison.
The pink peppercorn saison was definitely fun. I don't know that it was super challenging. I think it was maybe a little bit more of a departure from where I'm comfortable with going, but that was a good beer too.
Do you know how many homebrews you've brewed to date?
No.
Like at a ballpark, what would you estimate it at?
I don't know.
Over 100?
Yeah, over 100.
Wow, I'm at like 17.
Yeah.
Oh,
actually, one of the more challenging ones I did with another member, Alex Novicki, we did a pumpkin beer, and that was just a disaster. There was so much baked pumpkin goop in the bottom of the fermenter. It was insane.
You scooped me on my next, because that's the next question, was any flat out failures that you had to dump?
Oh,
or
God.
Came close to dumping?
Yeah, it was miserable. That was terrible. And then we thought, okay, we can fix this by adding molasses. I'm going to tell you all right now, molasses never fixes anything with your beer. It was awful. It just made it taste even worse. Yeah, that was not a good beer.
Oh, that's nice. What are your favorite and least favorite styles to drink?
So my favorites would definitely be Russian Imperial Stouts. I love my stouts. I love my Belgian beers.
Maybe the target audience might book that.
Yeah, absolutely. I have porters.
Yeah.
I definitely tend to go more towards heavier beers. My least favorite, I can't even say sours anymore. That would have been the answer. I would say smoked beers.
Yeah.
I still find those very hard to drink.
Right.
Although sours would be a little bit close with the really nasty stuff.
You like sours even less than like adjunct vodkas or something? They seem to be
That's
acquired taste.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, I think the sours are growing on me more. But I can sit down and I can drink a cream ale without a problem.
So what's your favorite and least favorite styles to brew?
All right. Well, I've never brewed a lager, so I can't even say that's my least favorite. I would say herb beers would be my least favorite.
Right.
The pumpkin disaster. My favorite to brew? I don't know. I mean, my IPAs are consistently good. I don't know that that's my favorite to brew. Maybe the porters.
Yeah.
But even that is kind of passé.
Yeah.
I've played with some wheat beers before. Maybe I have more fun with wheat beers.
Yeah. Okay, so getting back to actual Albany Brew Crafters, we should have started with this. Can you describe what your position is, and what your duties are?
Sure. The lieutenant brewmaster is basically the vice president of the club. So if Aaron were to be assassinated, I would step in. Or when the Brewmaster General is unavailable for a meeting, I will step in and lead the meeting as I did last month.
Right.
But on a day-to-day basis, I handle more of the technical side of things. So maintaining the club's web presence is part of my purview. When we get a club brew system, that's going to fall under my auspices.
Right.
And otherwise, it's mostly to back up and support the club in any way I can.
And also, you're the artist. You design. We have all these bottle cap is our logo. When we have competitions, we have pins for them. You make them. What?
That's true.
You don't hand draw them. You use some software.
Yeah, I use Adobe Photoshop. By default, I ended up doing a lot of art for the club because we needed it for our web presence. So
right.
The logo came out of that, as you see. And then I needed a different type of logo to go on our forums, so I designed that. And then, with the pins, because I already had a logo, they said, hey, just tweak the logo a little bit for our club competition, and it's all kind of spiraled out of there.
Right. What's your short-term and long-term future homebrewing plans?
Short term, I need to finish my wheat beer, possibly enter that into competitions after making sure it's delicious enough.
Right.
Long term, I really want to focus on finding some way of building our club brew system. This is going to be really important to our club, I think. I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to separate us from a lot of clubs and really distinguish ourselves and give us so many opportunities.
Right.
One of the examples is we're talking on the forums about doing this yeast experiment and just trying with using the same wort, just trying different yeast in the same wort, see how much of a difference the taste makes.
Right.
We're doing things like doing it at different temperatures. And if you had a club system where we could do that, I think it'd make things a lot easier.
Cool. And what advice would you give people considering getting into homebrewing?
Join your local homebrew club. And I am dead serious about that. You will learn so much from these guys. It's incredible. I did start with that Mr. Beer kit because when you look at these buckets and cleaning appliances, and you looking through the directions on even a partial mash homebrew recipe kit, you get really overwhelmed really easily. There's so much that can go wrong. Being able to sit around and talk to people that have done it 10, 20, 70, 100 times, I think you can really learn a lot, and you're able to not make some really dumb mistakes. Pick their brains. Everybody in our club, as far as I can tell, is every bit as passionate about homebrewing as you're probably going to be. And that's, I think, my best advice.
Cool. All right, so that was Don, who's our lieutenant brewmaster. So thanks, Don, for coming over,
Thank you, Chad.
and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.